Hey guys, so I'm sure that everyone by now has heard about 5G and how it will change the world. Many companies are making bold claims about what 5G is and how it will revolutionize your day-to-day life. While it is exciting, we really should take all this excitement with a grain of salt. I'm here today to explain exactly what 5G is, what it's about, what's exciting about it, and why it's not quite ready for the big time just yet. What is 5G? 5G is, simply put, the fifth generation of wireless cellular technology. It promises exponentially increased speeds, higher capacity networks, and lower latency communications. Over the next few decades, 5G and its evolution will serve as the backbone to all kinds of new experiences that affect our everyday life. But trust me, 5G is not quite ready yet to be the life changer it's claiming to be. So why should you care about 5G right now? One of the biggest reasons to get excited is that low and mid-band 5G, which we'll talk about in just a moment, provides a modest increase in speed, the aforementioned much higher capacity, and significantly lower latency. This means that your devices that support 5G will feel much snappier overall and stay that way, even when tons of people are connected to the same towers. So 5G is kind of a thing now. Well, how the heck does it work? 5G isn't really one thing. It's actually a collection of standards and hardware that all works together to improve and increase network speed, capacity, and reliability. That being said, let's talk about some of the more important technologies that are employed. The first thing we need to talk about is the elephant in the room. What is mmWave and why does it kind of suck? Well, generally speaking, 5G will actually use much of the available 4G spectrum in order to deliver the needed speed, reliability, and distance for mass adoption. However, mmWave, which stands for millimeter wave, uses a frequency range just recently released by the FCC for commercial use. mmWave operates in the 24 to 86 GHz range and offers theoretical speeds of up to 20 gigabits per second, or around 2.5 gigabytes per second. To put this in perspective, with this kind of speed, you'd be able to download a 100 gigabyte game in 40 seconds, assuming whatever server you're downloading from can or will deliver content that fast. Fun fact, it almost certainly won't. Sounds pretty awesome, right? Well, here's the thing. The wider a radio wave, the easier it is for that wave to penetrate walls and move around obstacles. The higher you go up in the spectrum, the closer together these waves become, and the more difficult it is to move through objects. The distance waves can travel is also heavily reduced, and here lies our problem. Because millimeter wave operates at such a high frequency, in real-world testing, simply walking behind a tree or walking more than 50 feet away will cause you to lose 5G and revert back to 4G. So 5G is pretty useless then, right? Not exactly. If you remember, I mentioned earlier that 5G would use much of the same spectrum as 4G. This is how 5G will fill in the gaps. By employing new techniques and improving on the hardware that is already in place, as well as implementing new hardware, 5G will be able to use mid and low band frequencies to provide increased speeds over 4G, as well as the promised higher capacity and lower latency. While this may not be as fast as millimeter wave and high band, it will provide a noticeable improvement to the average user, you. In addition to the existing frequencies, new low band frequencies will be used as well. In fact, you may be hearing a lot of noise from T-Mobile about their new nationwide 5G. Well, this is in fact a low band sub 600 MHz implementation. This frequency was not able to be used in commercial mobile networks before and is showing real-world speed improvements of around 20%, as well as distances of multiple miles from a tower. This is certainly a huge improvement over millimeter wave's paltry distance constraints. In the middle of the road, we'll have mid-band frequencies. While these will provide a nice medium between increased speeds and distance, it won't reach quite as far as the low-band frequencies. But it will be quite a bit faster without the major pitfalls associated with millimeter wave. The story goes a little like this. As the 5G networks mature, you will find extremely fast millimeter wave connections in heavily occupied metro areas, with the wide coverage in cities covered by mid-band, and finally low band reaching far out into the countryside. You will then fall back to 4G instead of 3G, and hopefully prices will begin to decrease. Mobile and phone internet plans will merge as 5G becomes ubiquitous, and you will find every device imaginable will begin to have an integrated 5G radio. Your phone, car, laptop, watch, headphones, all of it will connect directly to the networks without the need for tethering. This sounds pretty awesome, right? Well, there's some pretty big hurdles to overcome before we get to the coveted, world-changing new age of connectivity. So why am I telling you we're not ready to enjoy this amazing experience yet? Well, there's still quite a few things that we need to overcome. While this is in no way an exhaustive list, this is what I personally consider to be some of the biggest issues. First, we have the aforementioned interference problem. This has been demonstrated many times in real-world testing. Different standards, such as those used in low and mid-band frequencies, won't suffer this issue as bad, but speeds will be significantly slower than when on high-band and millimeter wave connections. The next issue we face is security. As with all new technologies, security is a big concern. Firstly, 5G is not a mature technology, and its reliability is questionable at best. Because of this, many major systems that will rely on 5G connections would be at major risk of failing. Additionally, there are concerns over which companies are allowed to implement 5G technologies. Most notably, Huawei has been subject to bans from numerous countries to prevent their 5G hardware from being installed, as this would pose a major privacy concern. And given their history with the Chinese government, my personal opinion, don't invite a wolf into the henhouse. The final major issue is compatibility. Adoption is entirely impossible without obtaining entirely new hardware. Seeing as only a handful of 5G devices are on the market, it's likely that your device won't be able to connect to your provider's 5G network. And you better believe those new 5G radios come at a premium price. As with most tech we consider ubiquitous, it will need to be battle tested and there will need to be cheap options available before mass adoption can take place. Look, at the end of the day, 5G is super cool, and there's a lot to be excited about. But right now, it's important to keep your expectations reasonable. The rollout of 4G took a long time initially, and even longer after that to fully mature into a widely available and stable network. The 5G rollout will be significantly longer and take even longer so to fully roll out. It's very likely as well that 6G will come along in a much shorter gap than the 4G to 5G gap. If you want to go out and experience 5G right now, you certainly can. But for most people, the biggest improvement you'll find out in the wild is the newer low-band technology, which is a mild improvement over 4G at best. Over the next few years, as we see 5G mature, we're going to see some pretty awesome things become possible. Well guys, that's it for today. As always, if you like this video, go ahead and drop a like, get subscribed, maybe comment. You can also find Take Tech on Instagram and Twitter, so follow us for cool new content. And if there's any cool tech you want to learn more about, let me know down in the comments. I'm thinking about doing a series about how I built my own cloud gaming server at home for $0. So let me know if you'd be interested in that, and I'll see you guys on the next one.